What is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 37 of the Gamers for Life podcast, each and every Saturday where we discuss all things games. I'm one of your hosts, Jerrell. With me is my co-host, my right-hand man, my ABXY, Arthur. What's going on, man?
Nothing much. It's doing good. Making sure my cats don't decide to chew on stuff, but I think we'll be okay.
Yeah. I'm starting to get a little more accustomed to them. One of the light fixtures fell, but it's all good.
Yeah,
That's all good. Comes with pets, right?
yeah. It's like I think it was like 2 seconds after that I was like, I miss having a dog. But then again, dogs knock shit over all the time.
Right, exactly.
Like I used to have a black lab mix, and like most dogs, like black labs, German Shepherd, stuff like that, their tails are like, see the tables over there? That's like exactly their tail height.
Right.
So everything is just in tail. I love you. Then everything behind him just gets fucking knocked over. That's how it goes.
Yeah. I think I told this story a little bit before, but I remember when there was one point where I had 12 dogs. I had 12 dogs.
This is a first for me. That was a fact I would have remembered.
Really?
Like,
yeah, I don't know if I mentioned it before.
Were you the origin story for Cruella? Like, I've never heard this.
Kill them all. No. So like, we took in one of the dogs. It was kind of like a street dog. My dad named the dog Foxy, so the dog was named Foxy. And that's probably a foreshadowing. But at one time, Foxy was outside in the backyard, and I was like, "Oh, what are you doing, Foxy?" And then I see all these other male dogs on the other side of the fence, just kind of like, "Hey, what's happened to Sugar Mama?" And I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here!"
Yeah.
But I didn't know the dog was pregnant. And then the dog gave birth on my mom's birthday when she was at work. I was like, "Mom, there's puppies falling out of Foxy's butt."
Always fun.
Yeah, they had 12 dogs. Eventually, I gave them away for free at a Walmart parking lot.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, hey, as long as they found a good home, yeah.
Definitely. I most definitely hope so. And speaking of a good home, we're on the road to E3, heading home here.
Did not think your transition, your dog giving birth to
I kill this shit.
12 puppies to E3, but goddamn it, you did it.
So before we get started here, if you are watching this, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification button. So like the channel for the Gamers for Life podcast. We'll do much more video clips and hopefully some more full episodes on the channel. And also when it comes to the Nerdy Bunch, if you're watching this, be sure to go to mynerdybunch.com. There's a bunch of podcasts of our neighbors and friends of the Nerdy Bunch. So you have Taunt Talk, the Star Wars podcast, the Horror Horse podcast, which is like a horror themed podcast. You have Nerd Hut / co-op mode, which eventually something will come out for that. Everybody's busy. COVID is lessening in some areas, vaccinations, people going to work, etc.
Yeah, people went back to work, slowly transitioning back to normal.
Right. Of course, the Uwu Squadcast, which is a big thing, getting really popular over in Japan. It said it was like, what was it, like top 50 or something podcast?
No, it was like top 12.
Oh, yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. and then of course there's Amalgam with Jasmine and Vivian, whose wonderful voice. Jasmine does the intro. Thank you for that again.
Yeah. She kills it. She usually does. So thank you for that.
I told her if like Watch Mojo's ever hiring or something like that, like I told her like in a compliment, just reminds me of Watch Mojo or something like that.
Yeah, one day we'll be going through a news story that she like covered or something, like Naomi Kyle or those folks back in the day. But yeah, be sure to check out this podcast again, mynerdybunch.com. That is where you'll be able to check all that stuff out. And here at the Gamers for Life podcast, we read the news, and you can watch what you choose or listen to what you choose by clicking on the links within the time codes of the episodes for the different segments of the show. So if there's a certain thing that you're interested in or want to check out, be sure to click on those. Or if you just want to listen or watch the whole thing, obviously you're always welcome here with us here at the Gamers for Life podcast. And Arthur, there's a lot of stuff happening, especially obviously the road to E3. We got the E3 schedule, so we're going to be talking about that today. But the interesting thing for starters, while everyone is trying to find a PlayStation 5, if they don't have one already, or an Xbox Series X if they don't have one already, Atari dropped a bomb on us.
Out of nowhere, the company that survived the ET launch, come back.
Seriously. So and this way, because this has been rumored for many years.
Yeah.
And finally, we got some information on just randomly. I really hope we get information on some other consoles too, but I'll talk about that later. But according to Tech Radar, they talk about the Avatar VCS, a console that'll be coming out. And it says here in quote, if you've been waiting patiently waiting for an Atari VCS release date, we finally have an answer, along with how much the retro-inspired system with modern sensibilities will cost. The Atari VCS is set to launch on June 15th, and you can order the base level model in Onyx for $299.99. You can also pick up an all-in system bundle that comes with 2 controllers, the classic joystick, and the modern controller for $399.99. Unlike the base level model, you have the choice of 2 color schemes. If you opt for the all-in system, neither Black Walnut or Onyx, you can also purchase each controller separately for $60 if you prefer. The Atari VCS design is inspired by the Atari 2600, and although it comes with 100 arcade and Atari 2600 games for owners to enjoy, including a subscription to Antstream Arcade's huge retro library, it can also function as a PC. It means the Atari VCS is rather versatile, and you could be rather snazzy It can be a rather snazzy multimedia machine. You can even use it for productivity tasks and install either Windows or Linux to turn it into a mini PC. The Atari VCS's dashboard is populated by the usual streaming services we become accustomed to. So expect to see the likes of Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, but you'll have to access it to a built-in Chrome browser and Google's suite of workspace apps. Powering the Atari VCS is an AMD Ryzen processor, and the console is capable of 4K resolution, HDR, and targets 60 frames per second. You can also expand the system's internal storage, and it comes with a dual-band Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 5.0, and 3.0 support. End quote. Arthur, what are your thoughts about this? I mean, it's kind of a weird time to announce a console, but given the fact that the populace that want a console, either they're they kind of have to wait because they're not able to buy it, but also they're just kind of like, they're looking at all these announcements with PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X. It's like, well, maybe I just should wait. Something like this drops in your lap. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think it's maybe something that people might jump to?
I think so. If not minimal for a collector's item, just to have it.
Yeah.
Also, again, just to scratch the itch of new with an asterisk, 'cause again, it's like remake. So I'm looking. It says it comes. They said it comes with 100 arcade and Atari to 2600 games for owners to enjoy. That's a lot of firepower for like 8-bit games.
That is a lot of power for 8-bit
games. I mean, to say like 4K, dude, it could be in 20K. I mean, if it's still 8 bits, a green block is still a green block. Like, unless they do it 3D, like some of the remakes we've seen with like for example, like it was either, what was it called, like Pac-Man Championship?
Yeah,
like, that was amazing.
That was phenomenal.
That was a great update. And then that new Tetris too. You saw me and Caleb stream that a while back. Again, those are like, because again, those aren't remasters. Those are entire like new, like remakes. They're redoing it.
Yeah, they do.
But to say it's like 4K for Atari games to start it at all, I would have to see the gameplay. It sounds weird. I want to see gameplay for Atari, but again, it's to list all these powerful things. Like it can run Linux and Windows for like 8-bit games.
Right.
I'm not mad. I'm just confused.
Yeah.
I'm just, it's like, it's like you're telling me the first Super Mario is being remastered. It's like, okay, we're doing 3D. Are we doing like a little, 64-bit?
Yeah. No, it's a good point too, right? Because I think when it comes to the VCS, it has that 4K support, the HDR and everything, and I feel like a lot of it is to do with just how smooth the game plays. Because a lot of these games, when it comes to game preservation, it's like, game preservation is such an issue with video games when it comes to like the games looking better. You know what I mean? Like over time. Yeah. So when it comes to a lot of these games, with the 4K and all that stuff, even though like you said, these are blocks we're talking about. Like, I wonder if their goal is just to make it look like how you played it when you first played it the first time, where it was like, oh wow, like that looks great, and then the older you get, like if they can 4K upscale it, that it won't look just like super terrible on your television.
Yeah, and there are games that do like, there are games that are remastered, and you can play, like right now, for example, Ghosts and Goblins. Like there's like, I think it's called Ghosts and Goblins Resurrected, and where it's like it looks cleaner, but there is also for sale the old school as is, like 32-bit, 64-bit Ghosts and Goblins.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I'm saying. So it is. I think that is cool because because some game, to a point, some games we just do like that. Nostalgia writes checks.
Yeah,
we know that. So, but again, in the same sentence, to be like Atari in 4K, again, not bad, just confused. The other thing I will say that they immediately nailed compared to compared to Sony, is the color scheme for consoles. We mentioned how Sony is suing people for making their PS5 be the color that people want it to be, aka midnight fucking blue, like a PS2.
Yeah.
And so if you saw me playing my phone, it's because they said it's available in Onyx. I assume that's great, just based on the Pokimane. That's my only guess on that. But I looked up I looked at the other color that was called the black walnut, and I'm like, oh, that sounds like the old tool. And sure as shit, it is. It is the old school black walnut. Because a lot of people don't remember, like Atari was almost like designed like a old school car dashboard, where it was a hybrid plastic and like wood like material.
Yeah,
like it wasn't wooden, but it looked like it.
True.
And
very true.
it reminded me of the dashboard of like an old Buick or something.
Yeah.
And sure as shit, like that's I was looking at my phone to see like, oh, is a black walnut, like did they make it look good? They made it look fucking good.
Yeah, it was nice.
Again, nostalgia writes checks. Again, it's like in terms of color schemes, that immediately is what people would have asked for, and they've already delivered it.
Nice.
Again, versus Sony, it's like, hey, we get in black.
Exactly, man. Yeah, it's just because I know we talked about it before, but it's like, come on, guys, like just take the notes and release it, because obviously they're working on a new console right now. Yeah. So I think they're going to lean towards that.
They should.
Yeah.
Another thing about this being rumors. This has been rumored for a long fucking time, like since you and I were in GameStop.
Yeah.
And speaking of a console that wasn't only being rumored, it was like available for purchase and pre-order. Remember that we had that one fucking regular that would never shut the fuck up about it?
Neo Geo.
God
damn it! I fucking hate that guy so much.
I swear to God, like every 2 days, this guy would come into our store. Is a Neo Geo out yet? Is a Neo Geo out yet? For like 2 fucking years. This dude, and he never bought anything. He never spent.
We had it. I had it. Like the Neo Geo thing came in, and I told him about it, and he did not call me back. He just like ghosted us, and I was like, you've been complaining to us about this Neo Geo thing forever, and you don't even come through to buy
that thing. So GameStop has its pre-order in categories. Games, accessories, miscellaneous stuff like Funko Pop, stuff like that. When GameStop started doing Funko Pops, and then consoles, and that thing was in the console pre-order section forever.
Yeah.
And there are two. I remember there's 2 versions. I forget what the versions were. I just remember Neo Geo showing up twice in that console list for easily a year.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 years tops. But again, like at his slowest reoccurrence, this dude would come in every week. I remember that. Like if it was a Friday, there's once a week, this dude showed up. You got the Neo Geo, and and mind you, this isn't like 2002 when like cell phones didn't exist. Nah, this was like Xbox One days. Like, homie, you don't have a phone. You can't like Google something. Just show up every other once a week. We have a line at the door. Neo Geo in yet? No, and just leave. Just leave. That's all I do. Just pop in. I'm like ringing up a customer. I'm trying to tell a customer I can't take their fucking cockroach filled Xbox, and he would just pop in like a door like, hey, you got Neo Geo in yet? No, like it's still not here, man.
I wanted to murder him because when I did it,
and then yeah, we finally fucking got it. And here's the thing, and we told them to pre-order it because we knew they're gonna give us like 2,
right?
And I think I was gone by that point or something, or like they sold out. I think they like literally gave us like maybe 3. And again, like I think two bought it up as a collector because I know those regulars were collectors.
Yeah.
And one was put aside for the guy that's been asking us for like a whole fucking calendar year, like 52 weeks. Do you need a Jew?
Oh god.
I still love how like I described him in like half a sentence. And you already knew who the fuck I was talking about. You already knew who the fuck I was talking about.
He burned memories into my brain.
You got the Neo Geo?
Automatic PTSD, yeah. I was like, son of a bitch.
It's like, speaking of people asking for consoles, that fucking Neo Geo guy. Yeah, a fucking Neo Geo guy for, I'm telling you, man, for like a whole year, at least a whole year, every week.
Dude.
Every week. No matter, rain, sleet, or snow. Line at the door. We just opened. Hey, you opened like 20 seconds ago. You got Neo Geo? No. And again, we told them pre-order it because we knew we were only gonna get fucking like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I don't think we got pre-orders at all, but they all got bought.
Yeah, they were gone. They were definitely gone. And speaking of folks who are gone and are coming back for revenge, I know that's
dude. If you have the fucking Neo Geo guy like in my bathroom waiting to come out, I'm gonna fucking punch you.
You have the Neo Geo, Arthur?
Just because that fucking transition, like people who are gone and coming back. Yes, we have.
Neo Geo.
Look, we have as a fucking guest today. Like,
that's a son of a bitch.
God damn it, Jerrell. Fucking Neo Geo guy's like in my closet just waiting for his entrance. Fucking hell, man.
So talking about a really interesting story here, and this is from Bloomberg. Says here in quote, in recent years, a stream of developers and executives from top video game publisher Blizzard have left to create their own studios, seeking the creative freedom and autonomy they feel is no longer possible at a company chasing mega hits. Now an alumni network, affectionately dubbed Blizzard 2.0, by some in the gaming community, has sprung up in Irvine, California, the same town where Blizzard has a sprawling campus. Hundreds of ex-employees, including the company's founder and chief executive officer for decades, have spread out there across a half a dozen independent studios. For decades, a man protecting Blizzard's culture from corporate influences like Mike Morhaime, the co-founder and former CEO who left in 2018. Last year, Morhaime announced that his own company, Dreamhaven, founded with his wife Amy and 24 other Blizzard veterans. Dreamhaven operates 2 internal game studios and has partnered with several other ex-Blizzard companies, creating a network of alumni who often collaborate. Morton said Dreamhaven is consulting for Frost Giant, while Broad said that he regularly invites developers from other ex-Blizzard studios to come playtest his company's game. Recently, Frost Giant announced a licensing deal with Epic Games Incorporated, Unreal Engine, and an advisory partnership with Dreamhaven. It says here in quote, "We're all super friendly with each other," said Broad. Continuing, "We're all trying to stay afloat, trying to do our best, help each other get there," end quote. It remains to be seen whether these new studios will find success in what has become a booming but oversaturated gaming marketplace. None of the ex-Blizzard companies have any announced titles, although Broad said that he hopes to reveal Second Dinner's Marvel game within the next year, end quote. Arthur, I remember you sent this to me and I was like, whoa, this is kind of like that joke we've been talking about as far as like, folks coming together to stick it to the man, you know?
And this is good news to me because...
Oh, let's do this.
Yeah.
So
this is good news.
Absolutely. I didn't think we would get one of these.
No. Yeah, I was going through the news today. I'm like, oh, fuck. Spoiler, you're going to get disappointed later. But no, I'm really happy about this because again, I've mentioned many times and reasons why, Blizzard's definitely not, Blizzard is not the company we knew. Yeah. Blizzard is no longer the company we like, and we mentioned for multiple reasons, no longer the company that we even respect. Yeah. For a lot of,
a lot of reasons.
For upfront stuff and backdoor shit. Yeah. And, and to say hundreds of people have left your company in the past 2 years, that's a big red flag. Not only for people investing in the company, that's a big red flag for customers.
Yeah.
And and not to sound wrong, but like fellow developers, it's like, because we've been involved in careers with revolving doors of turnaround, and regardless of the industry or job, but if you walk in there and you're like, oh, wow, I got hired pretty quick, and someone tells you, yeah, it's because 200 people quit, big fucking red flag.
Yeah.
And we mentioned before, the gaming, we can't speak from experience, but from stories like this, it seems that developer wise, the gaming community, the game developer community, on the developer community, it's very incestual, meaning like they know each other. Like people, like this person knows this person knows that person. The co-founder of Blizzard knows Epic, and it's really cool on two things. One, that the co-founder, he left last year or recently to form his studio, Dreamland, and now this new wave of developers, hundreds, are one forming their own company, and then two going off and doing their own thing. And so this new Blizzard 2.0 thing, this new Blizzard 2.0 that we're hearing about, it's good news to me.
Yeah,
it's good news to me because I'm not gonna go too much into it because I've done my long soapbox in previous episodes, but short version, companies like Tencent, companies like EA, Activision, Tencent, publishers and execs get their hands in a company and just changes the soul of the company, changes it changes their product, it changes their goal. When you change your goal, your products reflect that.
Yeah.
I meant just a few examples. I mentioned how they remastered Warcraft 3, which is one of the foundation flagship titles of why that company exists.
Yeah.
And that game was so bad and so unplayable, they offered 100% fucking refunds.
Wow.
And that's their flagship fucking title.
Yeah.
That's the game that launched World of Warcraft Online. World of Warcraft Online would not exist without Warcraft 3, and when they remastered it, it was so fucking playable, 100% refunds.
That's crazy.
And again, the whole Diablo mobile thing that no one fucking asked for, and other things. And so to hear that there's now a Blizzard 2.0, this is good news.
Yeah.
I feel bad it got to the point where people had to leave, and leaving, an industry is always, kind of scary, especially because, the game industry is very contract based work.
Yeah.
And, I can't speak 100% to it, but, we've all, if anyone has left a potential career to go to the world of the what if, it's a scary transition, and it sucks that so many people at Blizzard had to feel that that's the right move to do.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I just hope that they are, they're taking care of all these people, right?
Yeah.
I think it's very honorable and cool, and it shows the passion, I think, of these gamers,
Yeah.
right? As far as this is what we love to do. We just want to do it the right way,
Yeah.
And I hope they're treating, those ex Blizzard veterans with the respect that they deserve, and I will be very excited and would love to do a live stream or to watch whatever they announce.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be a really big deal. Really, really, really big deal. Because I think I heard something about millions of people have stopped playing Blizzard games.
Oh no, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. In recent news, I'll say within the past few years, it started with the whole Hong Kong thing. Because that was when Activision and Tencent, I've talked about the company before. Tencent on paper only has a 5% investment in Blizzard, but makes up for a major portion of their big decisions. And so it started with that, and then just other crap from there just went downhill. So that's what we mean by when I say upfront decisions, games.
Yeah.
And then backdoor decisions like the Hong Kong, their opinion of Hong Kong and censorship and stuff like that. So upfront, hey, we remastered arguably the game that launched our company. Oh, it completely did not fucking work. Oh, hey, let's make a new sequel to the other flagship game that launched our company, Diablo. Oh, it's a mobile game. And then that's what I mean by you have a lot of product gaming failures and a lot of backdoor shit. It's like if I had to put it in tiers, it's like there's the developers, then above them is the publishers, and above them is the execs. And 99 times out of 100, when I verbally shit on a company, it's the publishers and the execs I'm at, not the developers. And it sucks because and the developers usually hit the hardest with stuff like that.
Yeah, very true. Very true, unfortunately. And yeah, most definitely. And speaking of hard-hitting news, and we actually talked about this story, at least part one of it, a while ago. Remember we talked about Pokimane and we talked about Valkyrie. Yeah. And then you said, and you kind of called this, you said, you know, if Pokimane's address was leaked, then this is the least that we've heard of this story. Yep. And seems like this is part two of the story, but it seems to have more of a silver lining than we originally thought. But it says here, according to svg.com, it says here in quote, "It's not unusual for well-known streamers to live together, and one of the most popular examples of this is the offline TV house. Living with other content creators has its benefits, but some streamers still decide to branch off and live on their own. Despite toying with the idea of moving back to the home she previously shared with fellow members of Offline TV, Pokimane has decided to fly solo for a while. In a recent stream with Ms. Kiff, popular streamer Pokimane announced some details about her new living situation and why she didn't want to go back to the OTV house. Pokimane has been living with fellow content creators Valkyrie, ex-Chocobars, and Stars Mitten up until the lease ended. Due to security concerns and each housemate's desire to do their own thing, the content creators decided to not renew the lease. Back in March, Pokimane teased the possibility of moving back to the OTV house, which she had left following issues with former member Fred Meister. At the time, Pokimane told her viewers, "I kind of want to try living alone, maybe. But also, I think I'm going to get really lonely and be sad, so I'm just like, fuck it. Why not just live with OTV again?" End quote. Now, Pokimane has changed course, expressing her desire to just be on her own for a little while. To that end, she has signed a 6-month lease with an apartment by herself, something that Ms. Kiff had a lot to say about. Because she's been so active socially, Ms. Kiff had a few concerns about her becoming lonely or falling into depression. Pokimane pointed out that she'll still have time to have constant opportunities to be around OTV and other friends in that area, so she doesn't worry about it too much. Plus, she said that this is only a trial run since her new lease is only 6 months long. Pokimane explained that being in LA would be huge for her mental health while she's living alone. She lived alone before, as she mentioned, and hated it. However, she previously didn't have any friends near her. Now she'll have her favorite people a short drive away, so she doesn't think this new move will be a problem. End quote. You know, it's funny. This just reminds me of like why I don't want to be a vlogger.
Yeah.
Like, why should some asshole across the country or world know that I signed a 6-month lease? Like, fuck off.
It sucks, but you know, for those of you listening that aren't like too familiar with like the gaming world or the tech world, you know, the framing is like docs. I don't know where it came from, but the framing is like to quote unquote dox somebody, means to like release their address or personal info. Yeah. And we mentioned this a while back where she was getting viable death threats of like, hey, this person was sending pictures of like, I know where you fucking live, and you know, for security reasons, you know, she felt it was necessary to move out. And you know, we don't talk about individuals in the gaming world too much because it's like oh drama, like you know, like a drama thing. This is a drama thing. This is an aspect. It's an aspect of the internet, and at least what's publicly made so little more the gaming community. Yeah, it's just something about streamers and their fans just getting a little too like just in their own world. Of like, I need to find out where this person fucking lives. Yeah, and it sucks. So that's, you know, so that was the original. So that's the original. So that's why we're mentioning it. It's the reason how like one of the most you know known streamers is like, hey, moving. Now again, you know why we know her lease and stuff. I don't know. She released it. I don't know. But yeah, I wouldn't, but that's her.
Yeah, that is the foundation that she's. But that's the foundation of it, and you know. It sucks, but that is an aspect of, you know, not only the internet but specifically the game community that I hope gets rotted out. That hopefully gets rotted out soon. It's just becoming more and more common. Like we mentioned, I think a while back, briefly, but like Sweet Anita, the girl with the Tourette's syndrome, same thing. You know, like someone got like viable death threats. It's like, oh look, there's a picture of where you fucking live, and so.
with this, the whole how, she's nervous about living alone and now she wants to move back and people, it's like, why is that a big deal? First of all, she's young. I think all of us went through the phase when, we transitioned living with family and then living with friends and then, going off into known, like, I miss living with, you're a sociable person, you're a social person. You miss living with people. You miss waking up every day to be like, hey friend, you live 20 feet next to me.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's almost inevitable when a vlogger or to a point a popular streamer is like, hey, someone just messaged my address to me. That's concerning.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
So more power to her. Obviously, I wish, for her to be, for her safety and stuff like that she'll be all right. I'm sure she will. And I'm sure the OTV house will have her back some way, shape or form, keep an eye on all that stuff and make sure that she's good. Cause it's just interesting too, just talking about like the fragility of someone vlogging and being vulnerable, to people that you don't know, and this is like a career, right? This is what's paying the bills. This is what's paying, your monthly lease or just your mortgage or whatever.
Puts food on the table.
Yeah, puts food on the table. And then, with that comes, maniacs that, want to freak you out or go and rob you, or on all that stuff. So it's still scary. It's still scary with that in mind, so I can definitely understand. I definitely understand Ms. Kiff's, understanding on that, just as far as like, the concern on that. But, like I said, I think she'll be all right. And, salutes to her and, all those folks, Valkyrie and all that. So.
Yeah, one thing I mentioned with was it Miskiff? Yeah, said is like, how she's worried about her friends, say depression, because again, the fact she's young, she's famous, we all think like, oh, I wish I had that paycheck, but it's like, at that age, what would you do with that money or fame? Would you be Mother Teresa or Justin Bieber Jackass?
Yeah.
And the other thing too, she mentioned the whole depression thing. Something that came out, I think, something that really started to make news with YouTube and streamers. It started with YouTubers, and of course it transitioned over to the streamers voicing too. Is that that phrase we started hearing a little bit more 2 years ago, like pre-COVID, burnout.
Yeah,
it was a phrase we started hearing a lot. It was a phrase we started hearing a lot more. It was like, yes, the grass is always green on the other side. X person who wouldn't want a on face value a check for playing games. But again, at the other side, it's like a lot of people a lot of people were getting burnt out. A lot of people were taking a step back from the public life, which is in itself a risky move because again, that's their livelihood. So,
right.
So and again, you mentioned fragility, and there's also kind of fragility, in potential fame. So if like, hey, I'm getting burnt out. I'm gonna take a step back for like 2 to 3 months, not really voice why, because if you're going through some mental situations, and all of a sudden you come back in 3 months, you're like, oh shit, that thing that was my livelihood, it's becoming a lot less of a livelihood.
Right.
So
exactly.
So again, that's why it's rare when we talk about individual streamers or stuff like that. But if there's certain aspects to the story that need to be mentioned, or certain this is an isolated case, and this is just an example of many we want to bring out, that's why we do that.
Yeah.
So again, like this one, the whole hey. Oh, I watch your streams. We're meant to be together. Like that aspect of of Twitch and the streaming community. Again, it's not isolated to the gaming community, but again, at least what makes the news or publicly, I feel like gaming just publicly just gets a lot of that.
Yeah.
Compared to other quote unquote public figures.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays.
Yeah.
And again the whole burnout thing. It's
yeah.
like, you're just playing games. I mean, yeah, but to a point, like, have you tried to fucking play games 12 hours a day for 7 days a week? Yeah, even at some point, you at least at minimum gotta go, okay, my ass hurts. Like, at some point, you're like, I need to take a walk, do squats, or get a hemorrhoid pillow. Like, I'm just being honest. Like, it's not that hard to play games 12 hours a day for 7 days straight for 6 months. I'm just.
Oh my god! Yeah, well, I was gonna say, Jesus, that just destroyed my train of thought. No, I was. Just
I don't.
No.
I don't need to.
No, I was gonna say, as far as like burnout, you know, like it's funny because like burnout in general it's been a thing for forever, right? And then just it took a pandemic for people to really study that and like, oh wow, like. This is a big problem. It's been a problem in the workforce, especially for the U.S. workforce, like forever. Oh my God. You know,
it's like international articles. The American workforce works harder than most people. No, we just work longer. Like we're fucking tired. Like how many people have to like down a Red Bull or a fucking coffee as they walk into work? How many people?
Right.
Have been enraged. How many people have been enraged so much from their job that they come home from work driving the speed limit with the radio off like a fucking sociopath? Like
exactly. What the fuck, man?
And again, it sucked, but it took a pandemic for people for people to voice it. And that's again, and the upside downside. Me, I'm always kind of like the upside somewhere is by people voicing it. It was like, oh, it's not just me. Like, because it's almost like there was like guilt to it. Because like a lot of people, whether it was YouTubers or streamers too, they did voice kind of like a guilt. Like I feel bad that I feel like I'm overworking myself playing games, making X much. And we've all learned. Paycheck doesn't confirm mental health.
Right. Exactly. And speaking of fragility and burnout, seems like the Battlefield franchise is been dropped. How fragile it is, and unfortunately going to be burning to flames here. But there's an article here written by Danielle Partisse. I believe this is Giant Freaking Robot as far as that website, but if I got it wrong, at least Danielle Partisse, she did write this, so shout out to her. But it says here in quote, the former EVP and general manager of Call of Duty has been hired by EA to oversee the development of the Battlefield series. Bryon Beede will now take on the role of SVP and general manager of the rival shooter, ahead of the release of Battlefield 6. EA said that the hire, end quote, signals a strategic long-term commitment to the growth of the franchise, end quote, reported by IGN. He'll report directly to Respawn founder and DICE head Vince Vampella. Beede quietly resigned from his position at Activision Blizzard earlier this year after just over 15 years of working in the flagship franchise, leading operations on titles such as Modern Warfare 3, Warzone, and Call of Duty Mobile. He was replaced by Johanna Fares, who also serves as the esports commissioner at Activision Blizzard. End quote. And the funny thing is that every single comment I've seen on this article or an article that's talking about this has been like, rest in peace, Battlefield.
Yeah.
Or I hope he doesn't fuck up Battlefield. Like people are very worried about this.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's not apples to apples, but it's like, oh, there's a new Star Wars game coming to the Switch. Made by who? The people that made Farmville. Fuck. They scalped a person from Call of Duty. Cool. What did you work on? Call of Duty Mobile. Fuck. Like, what? Yeah. Why? How? Yeah. That's sorry. I definitely popped my mic there. But like, we couldn't get the zombies guy. I like zombies. I mean, he worked on Wars. He worked on Warzone. Okay, he worked on Modern Warfare 3. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
But in recent years, Warzone and Call of Duty Mobile. And the thing about Warzone, have you seen the statistics of Warzone? It's like by far people are just playing zombies and don't give a fuck about no Warzone. Never mind. Sorry, I was mixing up Cold War. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But again, Warzone. A lot of people are leaving it because it's just like we mentioned it before. It's like let's say the top three battle royales: Apex, Call of Duty, and Fortnite. And by far the one that like gives a shit about the community the least would be Call of Duty, bringing up the rear of Fortnite. We mentioned how like there's a gun or there's an imbalance. Apex will try to fix it or like do something like their new update released a whole new mode. Call of Duty's like, oh, this gun's fucking imbalanced, so it's really overpowered and everyone's gonna use it. What should we do? I know, release skins so people can spend money on it since they're all gonna use the same gun. Like that's what they do. Like they release a gun, the community says it's overpowered. So well, if you want to win, you got to fucking use it. And if everyone, and it's like, well, I'm using the same. All of a sudden, hey, I've been using the same gun for like 20 fucking games. Might as well use money.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks when this is gonna be boiled within Battlefield, right?
Yeah. Because here's the whole thing. The number one statement you'll hear from most Battlefield players is because I play it because it's not Call of Duty. Spoiler: if I want to play Call of Duty, I'll fucking play Call of Duty. If I want to play Battlefield, I'll play Battlefield. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it's the most simplest. That's the most simplest broken answer. Why do you play Battlefield? It's better than Call of Duty. Like I told you, I used to love Call of Duty. You know, when I was in college. I was in college when the first Modern Warfare dropped, and hell yeah, everyone and their mom was fucking playing that.
Yeah.
But then I played one fucking match of Battlefield 4 online, and in one match I drove a tank, I flew a helicopter, I rode a jet ski, I fucking blew up a skyscraper. I was like, this game is fucking amazing, and I never looked back.
Yeah.
Never looked back. And now to be like, hey, Battlefield's like, hey, we got a great announcement. What? We have someone from COD Mobile. What the fuck? All I can say is you know, to the founder of Respawn and the head of DICE, Vince Zampella.
Yeah.
Keep this dude in check. Keep this guy in fucking check. Because I mentioned Call of Duty Mobile. You know how it got sued. Remember that was the game that people found out their quote unquote loot box roulette system was like literally rigged.
Yeah.
To like you can't get the best thing until you pay a certain amount.
Right.
And then they got sued over that.
Yeah.
And that's who we got. Yay.
And you know what sucks too is that like from all sides this sucks. So it's like not only from them making another microtransaction invested thing of nonsense. You also have folks that like the hackers and annoyance players that just make the experience horrible as well. Like I know Warzone, they banned like over like 500,000 people or something like that.
It was a fuck ton. I forget. It was in the it was like in the hundreds of thousands. Yeah, probably 500,000 people. Son, right? It's like like then that's how bad it is.
Jesus.
Yeah, and then it's funny too because even this article ends with he was replaced by someone that was in charge of esports, and I'm like, not the twist the knife, but it's like, oh, you mean that division of Blizzard where they fired 100 people? Like I said, I got no respect for modern day Activision Blizzard.
I don't blame you, dude. Yeah, because it's like Battlefield. We've been trying to like keep like in I'm sure there's better words to say this, but like keep Battlefield pure. And it seems like after Battlefield 5, it just didn't. It wasn't the same game.
Keep Battlefield.
Yeah, you know, and it's just the direction that it's going. When that article arrived, that it said like we wanted to go head to head with Warzone. Everyone was like, "Oh my god!" We're like, "No, please," and then we hear this information, so we're just like, "Fuck, man." And
then Battlefield 5 got us that gave us that battle royale mode that no one fucking asked for.
Yeah,
like Fire Zone or Flame Watch. If there was fire, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of people keep playing Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 4. That's pretty much what you're gonna get.
It's funny you say that because actually Victor, you know, the guy we mentioned a lot, you know, he's been and he's and if you watch the stream, he's the guy I play Monster Hunter with. I've been playing and streaming a lot of Monster Hunter recently.
Yeah. Shout out to Victor.
He downloaded Battlefield 1 to check it out because Battlefield 1 got a little more popular via Game Pass downloads.
Oh no shit.
So yeah, he played a few matches of it last night, and I'm like, I'm not hoping for it's not that I hope for a game to fail, because I like Battlefield. But if Battlefield 1 were to like come back, I'll be down for that.
Yeah.
If the player base to a point were to come back for Battlefield 1, I'd be super happy.
I think you're gonna get a huge migration to Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 4. Probably definitely Battlefield 1.
If you're listening to this and you're unhappy with Battlefield 5, play Battlefield 1. If you're an Xbox or PC player, it's on Game Pass Ultimate.
Yep, there you go. Boom. So good stuff there. And speaking of games and or companies that have just brought us joy of every sense of the word, Obsidian is cooking up a new RPG here, and it's an RPG that we're looking forward to. And according to, where did I get this from? I want to say it's either from Polygon or
Is this the article I sent you?
Game Rant. Yes.
Might have been The Verge, actually.
The Verge? Okay, we'll just go with that. The Verge. It says here in quote, fantasy RPG fans have been waiting for another Skyrim for ages now, and two potential candidates to fill the void are finally on the horizon. These games are Avowed from Obsidian Entertainment and Elder Scrolls 6 from Bethesda. Both of these games were announced a while ago and have gone silent ever since. But considering what was shown in Avowed's trailer, people have been calling it a spiritual Elder Scrolls 6 because how it resembles the mainline Elder Scrolls titles. However, Avowed is probably going to be quite different from Skyrim, and the game it seems to be more similar to Morrowind. Avowed is based on the Pillars of Eternity games and will likely include plenty of callbacks to those, but its rumored setting is going to be something else entirely, probably based off of the living lands of Eora, much like Morrowind was very different from the rest of Tamriel. This is just the tip of the iceberg, and while many of these similarities may be on speculation and rumors, it is plausible that Avowed and Morrowind will be compared a lot in the future. End quote. You know what's funny too is that I remember when I played the original Xbox when I had it, and I remember when I had Morrowind, and I was like, I can't believe a game can be this detailed.
Yeah.
You know, like with RPGs and stuff.
Elder Scrolls was, or Bethesda was again, but back you know. When Bethesda was clearly building its foundation, it was a whole league of its own. With sci-fi adventure, with Fallout, and then that medieval magic sorcery realm that is Elder Scrolls. And real quick before you go too further, you were right. Actually, it was Game Rant. I just wanted to.
Oh, okay, okay. Game Rant. Thank you.
We like your articles. We want to make sure we got it right. Game Rant.
Yes. Shout out to Game Rant.
And I sent you this. And I was happy because I'm still burnt by Bethesda. You know, I told you, like we said in the last episode, the Road 3, like part 2. You know, you asked me what's something that can what's a hype thing that can make me lose my shit at E3 for during Microsoft Bethesda, and I really couldn't give an answer of what would make me hype. But I definitely give an answer of what would make me mad, and that's if we get updates or DLC about Fallout 76, a dumpster fire of a game that they released a year before is ready to fucking play, and then they released a monthly subscription that didn't work. It was supposed to provide private servers. It didn't. It was supposed to give you more information, more room in your stash, and it glitched out and just crashed your games. And it glitched out and just deleted all your items. It was Louise. And so I'm still burnt by Bethesda. And so I remember the way I sent this to you is Obsidian outdid Fallout with Outer Worlds, and I was like, oh shit, are they about to do Elder Scrolls 6 with Avowed? And it's funny now because they're on the same team of Microsoft. Obsidian's been with Microsoft for years. Microsoft just spent $7.5 billion on Bethesda, and I'm like, I mean, looking at Obsidian's performance, Microsoft might have overpaid for that shit. Outer Worlds, Outer Worlds, in my opinion, was a better Fallout. It was, trim to fat, definitely shorter. Fallout can be again, when I stopped playing Fallout 4, it was like I stopped playing at 300 hours. I beat Outer Worlds in 36 hours. Okay. So it's a trim to fat version. And again, now Avowed looks to be, again, a better version, or potentially a better version of Elder Scrolls if the rumors are true. And I'm not the biggest into rumor mill, but I did like reading this story.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. We want to be cautious on what we're saying, but as far as just the hype of Avowed, people are very excited about it.
I am.
Yeah, very excited. I'm very excited about it. And like you said, Arthur, Obsidian, they've made some really great RPGs when Bethesda's fallen short, and I think Outer Worlds was definitely, that blew Microsoft away. Originally, now it's going to be a focused franchise, and they're going to be taking the coattails of it. And when originally they didn't even know that it was going to have that type of effect from the masses, but it's after 76, it's how could you not think that? But
it was definitely a sleeper hit.
Yeah, it was definitely a sleeper hit, and I actually need to go back and play that one. But yeah, I'm really excited for Avowed. I'm curious to see because it's The Elder Scrolls Online, it's like I understand why it exists. Like it makes sense, and I'm glad there is a pretty substantial community of it, right? But I just I'm such a nostalgic person and used to games that remind me of Morrowind or remind me of Skyrim, Oblivion, even. So having like people that are thinking like, hey, this might be more similar, more so to Morrowind than it would be to Elder Scrolls. Still, it's like that's awesome, So
I will say, real quick about ESO Elder Scrolls Online. It's definitely good. I got back. Victor got me back into it. Like he's almost max level, so he's about to start the end game. I'm like level 20.
Oh shit!
And again, he got me into Monster Hunter. So what I call game ready D. We just hopped on another game. Like man, it's like love or hate Game Pass. It's like a fucking candy store of like, moo, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine.
It freaks me out, dude. Like it's like one of those things where it's like you got money but you don't know what to buy, and then when you don't have money, you want to buy everything in the store.
and the funny thing is that with this, you get both. It's like
I think it's overwhelmed. I'm like, what should I start on?
Oh, dude, it is overwhelming. Because not only for Game Pass, there's also the sales on Xbox. Like, and I think I told you I told my housemate Ivan of the New Bunch. Last night, like Victor bought like 2 games. I bought 2 games. Because spoiler, for anybody listening, regardless of what console you play, keep an eye on your digital stores because you're gonna see a lot of sales. There's always sales around E3.
That's true.
For example, after the Far Cry, I'll make this quick, but just as an example, after the Far Cry 6 gameplay come out, bam, there's a fuck ton of sales on Far Cry.
Oh, nice.
And then Dying again. For example, and then Dying Light 2 dropped some info. Bam, Dying Light went on sale.
Nice.
All the editions of Dying Light, which I bought. So again, just real quick to the kid in the Canadian store analogy, man, with Game Pass and between sales. Oh, and remember, speaking of Game Pass, Avowed will be on Game Pass. Because remember, Avowed was shown during that Xbox conference. And remember, do you remember the Xbox conference?
Yeah.
Every single game we saw is going to be on Game Pass.
That's what they said.
You know what? I haven't. You know what? It's a week late, Jerrell. I have an answer to your question. What's going to get me hyped? Gameplay trailer for Avowed. That's the game I want. That's because I miss that. I have that itch for just that wizard, medieval dragon shit style RPG. You know what I mean? It's like you can't really call an era because there is no era of dragons.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like just that medieval magic, quote unquote, era or world.
Right.
And like in an RPG, level up classes, dialogue, skill tree. And again, to know the game I'm most hyped for from the last Xbox conference to hear it's going to be on par, if not better than Morrowind. And I can't go into rumors too much, but Obsidian has a consistent track record where recently Bethesda does not.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, wrapping this up, going into the big tune of the day. E3, guys, the road to E3. And if you are watching this on the Saturday, the release of this episode, 7 days before E3 is here.
That's how math works.
So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the E3 schedule that dropped, the different companies that are going first and continuing and all that stuff. Hype all around that, and we'll just nerd out heavily with E3, the road to E3. We'll be right back right after this. All right, folks. So, big tune of the day here. We have the E3 schedule. So this dropped recently, and by golly, it's making me more and more excited for E3 here from the road to E3. Because originally, I was excited for E3, but it's kind of like Christmas, at least in my mind. It's like you get more excited once, or any holiday, you get more excited once it comes a little bit closer.
Yeah.
So exciting stuff, and just kind of jumping right into it because E3. will be starting Saturday, June 12th. And according to Polygon, all this information here from Polygon. So shout out to you, Polygon, on the information here. So just starting here, it says, quote, E3 organizers that say that the event will officially kick off Saturday with a broadcast pre-show at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. Ubisoft and Gearbox Entertainment will hold the press conferences that day. So we have Ubisoft Forward, that's what they're calling it. Ubisoft Forward 2021 will showcase a variety of upcoming Ubisoft titles on Saturday, June 12th at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And it says here that a pre-show will begin at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. PDT, with news about updates for games such as For Honor, Watch Dogs Legion, and The Crew 2. Part of me is like, are you making updates for them? Like, what are you what are you talking about with those games?
At least for The Crew, I mean, that's definitely a niche community.
Sure.
I'm not a part of it, so I can't speak too much to it.
Yeah.
I do miss some racing games, aka hashtag Need for Speed Heat. Nice, but I never got into The Crew, but
Burnout. We need Burnout. God damn it. We need a new Burnout.
We do.
I know that's
But yeah. But yeah. Hey. They're if they're gonna give more info on Far Cry 6, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. And then continuing on here, it says the main event will feature the first gameplay footage of the next Tom Clancy Rainbow Six game, a co-op title formerly known as Rainbow Six Quarantine. Ubisoft will do a deep dive on the game in its Ubisoft Forward post show. This goes live at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That is pretty interesting. And you know what? I just want to say I am very excited I'm happy that Siege is still going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I remember the game came out, I was excited for it. It was like, I hope it's everything that it's supposed to be. And then when I picked it up and played it, and I was like, this is nuts. This is so good. Like the fact that I can, like, the intensity of a first person shooter, I feel like it has lost. I feel like it's lost that intensity's kind of been lost for a while. Just everything seems like, I don't know. It's just as far as like too loot boxy, too just like Warzone-ish or whatever.
Yeah, I was like too Call of Duty. Too Call of Duty.
Yeah, let's just call a spade a spade. Too Call of Duty, and like the nature of like playing a game and like killing, like taking people out or whatever in a PvP. It's just lost its vibe. So with Rainbow Six Siege, I feel like that really kicked that up. Like, and the fact that I can break a wall or a hole of a wall to shoot through it to kill somebody, I'm like, that is like amazing.
Yeah. Again, mechanics that Call of Duty stole, but hey, no, and yeah, we remember the days of like Rainbow Six Vegas, Rainbow Six Vegas 2, that tactical shooter. And again, in terms of those tactical, Rainbow Six Siege killed it.
Yeah.
I know there's little things here and there, like, that kind of, irks the community, but again, you can't please everybody. But it's still a fun game.
Absolutely.
And again, you'll hear me say it once, say it again. It's on Game Pass. Hey, man, if any company makes me super happy, I'll tell your shit. So
definitely.
Again, not sponsored, but Phil Spencer, if you're listening.
We need to get those shirts.
All right.
So continuing on here, it says that we can also expect appearances from previously announced announced games like Far Cry 6 and Riders Republic, and updates on the new content for Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Rainbow Six Siege. Says Ubisoft will also discuss projects from its film and TV division, such as the upcoming movie Werewolves Within. That's the one I was trying to mention to you earlier today.
Oh, yeah.
And then before we go into Gearbox, Far Cry 6, right? So it looks great, and I forget the gentleman's name that's like the person that's like going to make me interested in Far Cry, like the antagonist again.
The guy that was Moff Gideon in Mandalorian, and the guy that was a villain in Breaking Bad.
Yeah. He's amazing.
Yeah, he's just a great modern day villain.
Yeah, he's amazing.
And it's funny. Me and my friend were talking. It's like it's only time until he's a villain for the MCU, because just side tangent, we always say like what was something the MCU lacked was like a good villain other than Thanos and shit, or like Thanos and Loki. And it's like, hey, well, there's this Breaking Bad guy. The one thing I am nervous for Far Cry 6 that has not been in Far Cry so far, but has been in Assassin's Creed, It's been the Tom Clancy games. I mentioned the last episode. I am nervous for Ubisoft's future use of shortcut microtransactions. It makes me nervous. You know, I mentioned last episode, so I won't go too much into it. But again, a new form of microtransactions that really hasn't made quote unquote headlines is shortcuts of like, hey, you just need X shit to progress or X shit to unlock this, X this to do that. Wow, that takes a lot of grinding. Or $20. So, you know, I mentioned it's in Valhalla. It's in Assassin's Creed. It's in a few. I just said it. Tom Clancy games.
Yeah.
So, and it wasn't in Far Cry 5, and I just hope it's not in Far Cry 6.
Yeah.
Please don't. You gave me, you know, Chorizo, the little dog in the wheelchair. Don't give me shortcuts. Don't give me shortcut microtransactions.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and yeah. So we'll see what happens there. Side note and / prediction. Well, maybe prediction, but it was more of a question. This is really a prediction. Splinter Cell. You think we'll see a new one?
Maybe.
I miss Sam Fisher.
He's a new character in Siege. So
okay.
So
yeah.
the license isn't dead.
Yeah.
Technically. That would be a fucking cool drop the mic moment to end the Ubisoft conference.
Yeah, I'd be like, ooh, pants shitter. Like
you
it.
know, again, good games, you know, good quality games that do nostalgia right, make money.
Yeah.
Again, emphasis on not just nostalgia, but good.
Exactly. Good games.
The other thing I was the same looking forward to in Far Cry, just real quick, Far Cry 6 is killing people with the Mach Renner song.
Oh yeah. Well, so could you explain that for folks?
So for those of you that haven't seen the gameplay trailer, it's like almost like a record. So picture like a record player. Is when you put the needle on it, it plays the music. And there's like a similar gun you can make for CDs, and even though CDs don't work like that, we don't fucking care, because it just looks awesome. And so there's a CD. So when you have the gun out in your hand, I can't say it plays whatever CD, or I don't know if there's going to be like a soundtrack to it, but in the gameplay, it plays the Macarena, and you know it's kind of like a saw gun. You know, you're shooting CDs at like high velocity,
nice.
And then the next CD that loads kicks off where that song left off. so it's like it's like they're doing the Macarena, and then like it fires it and it kicks off. So
that's pretty awesome.
So there is a kind of like a Dead Rising aspect to it of like kind of building your guns, which really is kind of new for Far Cry. Far Cry really hasn't had the whole like, at least part 5 or part 4 didn't have the whole like craft your own gun. It was just like find it or unlock it, like a sniper or a bow, but there was no I'm gonna unlock this gun. Yeah, and there was another gun they had of I forget, but I just remember the Macarena gun.
Nice. Continuing on here, so Gearbox Entertainment, next folks here on the list, or at least according to this, it says here that Borderlands developer Gearbox Software will hopefully have plenty to show during a press conference Saturday. Should be interesting. I'm not sure the specific time that Gearbox is going. I think it was to be determined, but in general. What are your thoughts on this? I know they were talking about something to do with, I don't know if they're going to be talking about Borderlands 3 crossplay. I know they talked about it in the news, but
it's like the article says, we'll hopefully have enough for a full conference. I love Gearbox. They've made great games and I've bought them. I've bought all the Borderlands, but again, you can't keep milking this cow.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the games are bad. I'm just saying, branch out.
Yeah.
And
seriously.
so now I remember we mentioned it a few episodes back that Gearbox did announce I think it was like they officially announced like a new IP. Remember that? We were talking about that, and I said how as long as their new IP, their new game isn't meant to be a competitor to something else. Like we mentioned how Battleborn on face value was not a bad game.
Yeah.
It just got overshadowed by the competitors it was supposed to compete with, aka Overwatch, which just, swarmed over, covered everything, took over everything. So, and there was something else, like Aliens, again, Aliens Colonial Marines was a production hell game. And I forget what other game they released that was like another to to be a competitor something. But again, so as long as Gearbox has a good history of original storytelling, original games, and not so great of a history of I'm gonna make this game to compete with this other game.
Sure. So
let's hopefully we get more news on that.
Yeah, I hope we get some news on that Aliens game too. That co-op shooter.
Yeah, what happened to that?
Hopefully that shows up.
Question.
Yeah.
I know it's E3. Do you think we'll get any information on the Borderlands movie, or will Kevin Hart show up?
That's a good point, because I mean, hell, if Keanu Reeves shows up, why not Kevin Hart? Maybe. I think somebody's got to show up on that thing.
Because they just released I think costume images of Kate Blanchett as Lilith.
Oh yeah, I did hear that.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, again, like Erica says, hopefully we get a full, because again, you can't make a full conference off Borderlands. Great game, but again, dude, can't keep. Don't make it a GTA 5.
Yeah, exactly. And then here for Sunday, it says here on Sunday E3 2021, viewers can expect presentations from Microsoft, Square Enix, Warner Brothers Games, and 24 Entertainment. So we got a full load there. It also says that the PC Gaming Show and Future Games Show also stream Sunday. A broadcast pre-show starts at 11:45 Eastern, 8:45 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then talks about here that in detail for the Xbox Bethesda Showcase that Microsoft will hold its E3 Games Showcase on June 13th at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. And the Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase will stream live on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook channels. We'll focus on games from Xbox Studios, Bethesda, many game creators from our partners around the world, end quote. So that should be interesting too, right, Arthur? Because I mean, we're talking about as far as the Xbox titles. Obviously, we're going to be talking about Halo Infinite. I'm hoping that this will be the biggest step forward when it comes to Halo Infinite, because I know the Xbox showcases, from last year. We first had kind of like a beta version of it that was shown where it looks nice, but it doesn't look like an Xbox Series X game. And then they decided to push it back, which I think was brilliant.
Yeah.
So now we should be seeing a much better looking version of Halo Infinite. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, again, we mentioned it when Cyberpunk dropped. Halo Infinite dodged a bullet. And I know not everybody likes it, but I know not everybody likes a delay or whatever, but I like transparency.
Yeah.
Being left in the dark is one thing, but transparency is hey, straight up, we heard your concerns. We looked at the screenshots you showed us, and yeah, this game can use some polish. Because there were screenshots they showed at E3 that look like not a new generation game. There's some screenshots that I was like, look at this 360 game of Halo 3. But again, they stepped back and they've been consistent. They've been consistent with their updates. Remember, I said they released a list of we fixed this, and I'm like,
they did very detailed list.
And I was like, wow, that's almost like the list of things that Cyberpunk fucked up on. And I feel like that list was just okay, let's look at the list Cyberpunk missed. Okay, let's announce that we're not doing that. That's what that list felt like, which is good.
Yeah.
Again, because CD Projekt Red clearly could have used more time.
Exactly.
So the other thing is too, we mentioned it with Bethesda, Microsoft. I doubt it. I doubt. I hope we get I'm still hoping we'll get information on Gears, but again, Epic's been pretty vocal of we're just making Fortnite shit.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're gonna get anything on Gears, Gears 6, because you, Victor, and I, we finally beat Hivebusters. That was fun.
That was really fun.
That was a really good expansion. So thanks for that.
Yeah.
I mentioned Avowed, and again, something I look forward to every year is indie games. I love finding new companies to learn the name of.
Nice.
And definitely during 2020, when when everyone was stuck at home, so many fucking indie games stepped up and were discovered. Among Us blew up a year after it was launched.
Very true.
Because of COVID, everyone's stuck at home. And then we're mentioning indie games, how like Among Us won multiple awards at the Video Game Awards, and it was 5 people.
Yeah.
And how
that was powerful.
the Viking game was Valheim. Valheim, same thing as
Valheim, amazing.
Valheim's like 2 people, something like that, like a handful of people. And one of my predictions we mentioned on the part 1 of Road D3, one of my predictions, because Xbox has been consistent with this so far, is they're going to mention a new indie studio they've partnered with. Again, my examples were Undead Labs when they partnered with Undead Labs for State of Decay 2. They partnered with I forget who for Ori. The Blind Forest, Rare.
Yeah.
They got Rare for Rare Replay. And so, again, I think we're going to see a new... Now, Rare is not indie, but arguably over the past few decades, it's become... At least became a smaller... Yeah, there was like a decade's gap.
Yeah.
A decade's gap in production for Rare. So we can agree, again, so arguably small, no. Absent, yes.
Yeah.
But again... I think that's what I'm going to look forward to, is what new indie studio are they going to pick up. And I wonder, from the success of their both the PC and cross-platform Xbox launch, Coffee Stain, because Coffee Stain, the publisher, had 2 games that really knocked out of the park. One of which is Valheim, the Viking game, and the other game we mentioned a few times in the news that really killed it in sales, Deep Rock Galactic. Remember that?
Yeah, you're talking about that one.
Yeah, that was the game that's like it's pretty much Left 4 Dead, but you're dwarves and it's killing aliens. And there's the classes. And again, that game killed it in sales both on PC and Xbox, and the game's still going strong. There's still updates. There's still updates. There's still things coming out for it. So I wonder if they're gonna launch a new long-term partnership with them and lock in some exclusives. Yeah,
definitely. We'll see what happens on that. And continuing on here, it says that the Xbox, the Square Enix Presents event. So continues on here. It says that Square Enix event will begin at 3:15 p.m. Eastern and 12:15 Pacific. It's going to be a 40-minute show that'll feature the announcement of a new game from Eidos Montreal, an update from Platinum Games, Babylon's Fall, a closer look at Life is Strange True Colors and Life is Strange Remaster Collection, and details on the Black Panther War for Wakanda expansion for Marvel Avengers, end quote. Definitely excited for the Life is Strange True Colors, Life is Strange Remaster Collection as well, which is pretty awesome. Platinum Games, I feel like they've been really, really consistent as well.
Real quick, speaking games I just bought the Bayonetta Vanquish combo pack.
Oh, nice.
For $20. Also, if you're listening to this, the sale's over. Again,
hope you got it, guys.
There's a lot of 1 day, 3 day, 7 day sales going on throughout Xbox Store via PC and console games. So again, keep a look on that.
Nice. I'll have to. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, man. So looking forward to just I guess those games in general, and then the Black Panther War for Wakanda. That is pretty cool. It just sucks that it's for the Marvel's Avenger game, because I have my own thoughts about that game.
all 1,000 people playing it will be super happy. Its player count is abysmal. And here's the crazy thing is, like, with Marvel Avengers, all these characters are coming out, and not Spider-Man. And Spider-Man was the first fucking DLC character they announced.
Yeah.
It's like the next DLC character, the first DLC character will be Spider-Man. Okay, cool. What's launched so far? Hawkeye's daughter, and now Black Panther. And it's like, what about Spider-Man? Again, its player count is like in 1,000 singular.
Yeah.
It's not great.
Yeah.
But Platinum Games, I miss them. For those of you who aren't familiar with Platinum Games, their Platinum Games makes really good combo shooters, is the way I describe them. So that's Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, and Vanquish, which is such a good game that I feel like went under a lot of people's radar. If you have not played like a crazy, like, balls to the wall action shooter, That's like with robots. Play Vanquish.
Nice.
I remember one of the phrases we used to say in Vanquish, and I've said it before, is remember, kids, smoking is cool. Only because every time you beat a boss, he just smokes a cigarette. The other thing I'm looking forward to here is was it the new game from Eidos? Eidos makes some really good games.
They do.
They make a lot of good, like a good combination of like action with like story driven games. So I'm curious to see what they've been working on.
Quick question: do you remember Freedom Fighters? I want to say Eidos was involved with that.
Rings a bell. Like I've probably played it.
Yeah,
but like a mental like memory, no.
Because you play that game you play as a plumber, and then like it becomes like this big legendary epic story where like Russia pretty much like invades the U.S. and Soviets and like a bunch of people like New Yorkers that come together and like you have like these squads and stuff and going through. The music was really awesome and like
what generation was that for?
PS2 Xbox generation.
Rings a bell.
Yeah.
Again,
it's
like,
pretty dope.
I probably played it, and like I have it here in front of me. And Eidos, just real quick, Eidos was behind the Deus Ex games and
Nice.
and the great revamp of the Tomb Raider games. Those games are really fucking good.
Those are phenomenal.
They are really good. They are really good games. And if you've not played the new Tomb Raider games, get on it. And again, watch for sales. Again, there's gonna be pretty much every year, pretty much every publisher that's at E3. Usually the day of their conference, they have a sale.
Nice.
Again, like Far Cry 6 announced, Far Cry 6 showed gameplay, bam. Next day or later that day, every Far Cry game was on sale.
Yeah. Very, very true. Very true. So continuing on here, it talks about on Monday, June 14th, Capcom and Take-Two Interactive, they're also going to be presenting. So it says here, Capcom will deliver a presentation on Monday focusing on its upcoming slate of games. Officially, Capcom has the Great Ace Attorney Collection, Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin, Resident Evil 4 for Oculus VR, and Pragmata on its release list. But Capcom reportedly has more Ace Attorney and Resident Evil games on its plan, according to a leak. It says here that Take-Two Interactive will also have a showcase with details for coming, which is pretty interesting. I heard that Resident Evil VR is pretty insane. It's pretty like freaky.
It's nuts. So, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard was the return to horror, and we were all here for it. And it was a great game.
Yeah.
I never got a chance to play it, so I got to state that. But again, the reviews and the scores it's earned and awards it's earned, again, were earned.
It's one of those games that's very hard to play because you're so goddamn frightened.
Yeah, it's
one of those games.
It's a good game, and the VR was such a good call for it.
Yeah.
The VR was such a good call for it, and to have arguably, if not the best, by far, I would say easily, we can all agree, the most popular Resident Evil game, which is Resident Evil 4. Drop for the Oculus, especially since the Oculus Quest 2 just came out. That's good. That's good news for both VR fans and Resident Evil fans.
Nice. Awesome.
One last thing is, reminder, Take-Two. Take-Two owns Rockstar.
Yes.
If we get any more fucking DLC for GTA 5, like, I'm nearly gonna just boycott this fucking company.
Oh man, it's gonna get worse before it gets better, man.
It is, and it sucks. And as much as I hate it, I know we're gonna get next gen players of GTA 5. Oh, fuck you! Like man, like again, everyone is just give it again. If not, give us Grand Theft Auto 6 at least. Let us know it's going to exist and hint at when.
Yeah. Just like, I mean, I wonder if they're having problems. You know what I mean? Because like, when they announced that in November that there's going to be a Series X and PS5 version of Grand Theft Auto 5, like almost all the comments were like, no one asked for this. Like, what is going on with GTA 6? Like people are becoming more and more verbal of like, no, like give us details. Like, we want to buy your game. Like, what is the scoop, man?
And again, the generational gap from was it the 1 to the series was like 6-7 years, something like that. And I remember in that same time span on the PS2, 6-7 years, we got Grand Theft Auto. We got I want to say Grand Theft Auto 3, San Andreas, and Vice City. Not the exact order. It went Vice City, then San Andreas. But we got those games in that same time span. And it's 6-7 years now. It's now breaching beyond that. We 3 generations of consoles. We have the same fucking game, and it's becoming more and more obvious why they're fucking in-game purchases of the shark cards. Yeah. Because like I said, your stuff will not transfer over. Yeah. Your weeks now, clearly, years of hard work will not transfer over.
Yeah.
So hey, you want to start your 7-year fucking adventure over again? Go ahead or pay Rockstar money. It took a lot of the Grand Theft Auto 5, especially the Grand Theft Auto 5 online community, to get behind the rest of us, but it's just fun that we're all here in the same spot now. It's like, give us fucking Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah, seriously, please, God. Continuing on your Tuesday, June 15th, of course, that's the final day of E3, and it says here that it kicks off on a broadcast pre-show starting 11 a.m. Nintendo, Bandai Namco, and others will have events around this. And then continuing, it says Nintendo Direct and Treehouse Live. So it says Nintendo will show a new Nintendo Direct presentation at E3 2021 on June 15th, where the company plans to reveal new details on upcoming Nintendo Switch games. Nintendo will then offer a longer look at its Switch lineup in a new Nintendo Treehouse Live immediately following the Direct live stream. Nintendo E3 2021 and Nintendo Direct will air 12 p.m. Eastern Time at 9 a.m. Pacific Time on Tuesday, June 15th, and the company will announce Tuesday the presentation will run roughly 40 minutes and focus on Nintendo's Switch software, mostly releasing in 2021. One thing I want to talk about that, Arthur, is that of course, there's the murmurs around the Nintendo Switch Pro.
Yeah.
Right. Hearing about that, and then also hearing that it's rumored to be a relatively expensive console. Now, expensive like PS5, Xbox Series X expensive? Probably not.
No.
But I guess more expensive than Nintendo fans have expected or are accustomed to, I should say. Yeah. Yes. What are your thoughts on that rumor?
I mean, it has to be. I mean, if it's more powerful than the Switch, it's going to be more expensive than the Switch.
Right.
Why is my Ferrari more expensive than a Pinto? If I have to explain it to you, go back to school. This sounds weird, but I'm noticing a trend. I'm noticing a trend in this schedule. I miss when this was in LA and we controlled the time. Nintendo's conference is at 8 a.m. What the fuck? like I'm looking at these times and it's like 8 a.m., 10 a.m., 9 a.m. I'm like, no. Bring it back bright and early. Bring it back to LA. When's your conference start? Fucking noon. All of us are fucking awake, sleeping in.
I know, dude. It's like people are like having cereal or in work at the office, and then they're fucking presenting. It's like people have to be on their phones at work and watch it.
Like we're, it's like, you and I are planning our schedule to, do what we can record live. Sorry, Jerrell, I'm fucking calling it. We are not recording Nintendo Live.
Oh, come on, Arthur. Please.
Neither of us own a Switch. Fuck no. I'm not fucking recording live at 8 in the morning.
Get on a live stream, have some coffee.
If you want me to like be tired and shit all over it, green light.
I don't know if we would do that.
Because you've seen tired Arthur. Like, hi, today we're announcing I don't give a fuck. Like, it's just I don't even care.
You get a little more apathetic than
yeah. I'm just like, I don't. I'm awake right now. I hate you. I will say real quick. We mentioned it during the Epic Apple trial of one of the many documents that were audited for some fucking reason.
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with the trial, but how Xbox planned launches around Nintendo supposed dates or like assume Nintendo releases.
Yeah.
Remember how now since then No More Heroes 2 has been announced. No More Heroes 2 was one of the 3 main games that Nintendo did talk about during their last Nintendo Direct. But the other 2 games that are up in the air that Xbox was concerned about, as we know in those documents, that Nintendo owners should be concerned about too and asking about is Bayonetta 3 and Breath of the Wild 2. Those are one, if not both, those games need to be talked about during this.
Yeah, I agree.
And definitely Jerrell's new favorite game from the makers of Farmville, Star Wars, whatever the fuck it's called for the Switch.
What a waste! What a complete waste. I'm gonna try to reserve myself, but complete waste.
Jerrell, I'm still calling it, man. Remember, we were told there was a rumor a Star Wars game was going to be announced from a developer no one in the entire world will ever guess.
Dude. Good Lord in heaven. Yeah. Continuing on here. It's funny because there's too much information on this one, but Bandai Namco, they will have a showcase. So the details forthcoming. So part of me's like, Ridge Racer?
I mean, he's not summing up. It's like one sentence. Bandai will be there. That is all. Okay?
5 more minutes will be there. I'm on my way.
I mean, I'll say one thing. I clearly can't go much into it, and plus, Bandai is definitely a niche developer. I would say. We're probably gonna get a new anime something like One Piece versus the World 5 or like Naruto Fighters 6 or some shit.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I'm not hating on those games. I'm just saying that's all I know. That's all I know them for.
Yeah, definitely.
Off the top of my head, all I know them for is the anime games. They're fun.
Right.
Victor plays them, but off the top of my head, I can't name a Bandai game that's not an anime game.
Yeah. And then obviously, that's the last day E3, but on Thursday, July 22nd, they are having an EA Play Live. So they'll be holding a presentation Thursday. It doesn't say the time, but on July 22nd, well, after E3 2021 concludes, details are forthcoming, end quote. And then I'm wondering, for that EA Play, I'm wondering if they're going to announce any additional Battlefield information. I don't know, man. I wonder we'll see regarding to that fucking game that seems like people are more scared about.
If it's at 8 a.m, I don't care. It's like I will not pre-order a game. Why? Because you made a gaming conference at 8 in the fucking morning.
Yeah, it's like, come on, guys, help us out, please.
It's like one of these days, one of these days, I want to have like a conference like Friday at 6 p.m. It's like, wow, I had the most viewers ever. Yeah, no shit. Everyone's home for work. You're home from school. You ain't got shit. Your homework's done. If you're on the younger side, and it's like, yeah, Friday at 6 p.m. Let's go. We're hyped. Let's get them. Like I'm 32. Fuck it. I'll get fucking Mountain Dew and some Doritos. Friday at 6 p.m. I'm in.
Roll up to 7-Eleven. It's like, yo, let's do this.
Really random. I've told you this off recording. Off recording at the liquor store I go to, and I'm sure I don't know if you guys have noticed this. For those of you that buy Monsters, they're still selling right now the Halo Infinite double XP monster cans.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Is it called Game Fuel? Because I remember they had a Game Fuel series.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I just know, and I passed by to get the juice, to get my orange juice. There's Halo Infinite double XP weekend for Monster. And I'll say this: Halo definitely knows its community. They definitely know its customer base. That's smart advertising, but I'm sure Monster was like, hey, what got delayed? Our game. Yeah, we have like thousands of these cases to ship out. We're not delaying our fucking shipment. To a point, our product is perishable. So there you go.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. And this isn't like recently because of E3. I mean, this is like been forever. This has like been the last like few months. I think I even noticed it like during winter, again, because it was supposed to launch in November. So from November till now, I've been passing by, buying my orange juice or my milk. Fucking Master Chief just on a monster can. that code just waiting to be used. So if there's any diehard Halo fans out there,
hell yeah,
get some Monster Energy drinks, take a picture of the code, save it, and go nuts with that XP.
Nice. Yeah, because I remember back in the day, man, I think it was Mountain Dew as well. They had some game fuel.
Mountain Dew and Doritos.
Yeah.
I remember.
Good stuff.
That was my shit.
Game fuel.
Lastly, one thing I will say about this schedule is something we don't know yet. As a company, I'll say, you know, I vulgarly criticized today. Activision Blizzard. We don't know when they're we do know they will be there as of the last information.
Yeah.
Because what was it? It was Konami that backed out, and after Konami backed out, game publishers and developers started raising their hands like, "Oh, I'll be there. And Activision Blizzard was one of the hands that got raised.
Okay.
But as of right now, we don't know what day or when. And I'm okay with that. Let me rephrase that. Again, I mean, as of right now, there's nothing I can find myself excited for. Again, you know, for the reasons I mentioned earlier and on previous episodes, you know, for the face value products they've released and for the backdoor stuff, I don't see myself spending money towards them anytime soon.
I don't blame you, and we'll see. Who knows? Maybe they'll release something where it's like, you assholes.
I've mentioned it, and if Activision brings Neversoft back from the dead, which was the old school maker of the Tony Hawk games and some good and like the fucking good shit,
Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm like, maybe, because like. I forget if it was Neversoft or Activision. Their logo was like the eyeball with the barbed wire. Again, when you saw that logo, you're like, "Oh, I'm in for a good Friday night. I got my Mountain Dew. I got my Doritos. Let's go." I got the boys over here. We went to Hollywood Video, Blockbuster, rented a game. I am not moving from my fucking room.
We will see, folks. So this is going to conclude the Road to E3 series that we've had here for the Gamers for Life podcast. So obviously next week will be E3. I don't know if we're actually going to have an episode. We'll probably just have some content regarding to E3. So check out our Gamers for Life YouTube channel. There'll be some stuff that I'll be posting there, and then maybe we'll do like a short like post talk. Maybe I don't know if it'll be in person, but we'll at least have an episode for you guys, whether it be video or audio, something to that regard. So exciting stuff, man. Hope you guys get ready, get gamed up, get in the game. Any last things?
I mentioned before. I got the Twitch channel back on the line, and again there were some tech issues I had to fix, and they're all taken care of. I've been doing a lot of late night Monster Hunter with Victor.
Nice.
You know, why late night? He's in Japan, and spoiler, the Earth is fucking round, so time zones are a thing. I want to play games where the Earth is flat. I don't care. But yeah, so again, I've been streaming a lot more on our channel, Gamers for Life Pod. You know, once again, Gamers #4 Life Pod. Yeah. Over there on Twitch.
Nice. Very cool. Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much again for watching or listening. We will see you guys next week, maybe. But if anything, we'll be watching E3 like you, and we'll be commenting on it. Other than that, we'll see you later.